Live in the building, family. 1, 2, 1, 2. How's everybody doing? Live. Boom. Boom, what you live? All right. How's everybody doing? Back in the building. Get everything started. How's everybody doing? Doing a countdown. Sound check. I bet you let me know how my sound is. Everybody's fine this. started.
Maybe right now we did a countdown. Maybe this one will hook up.
But Dan's hooking up. Mine's not hooking up. That one's not hooking up at all. Let me use that one. What's going on, family? About to let this thing start in a minute. Everybody on YouTube, everybody on Facebook, everybody on Rumble. We'll get started in a minute. Johnny's out in Vegas. Everybody join us. We get this party started in a minute. And everybody doing on TikTok. Glad for joining us. Party stop. That's why I'm like that. Get it back. All right, everybody, where we at? About to get this party started in a minute. Hold on tight. Hold on to your seat belts as we almost get ready to start everything. Hope everybody can hear me on whatever we platform we're on for right now. Woo! Come on. Let's get this thing started. How you guys doing on TikTok? Something new for us to try over here. TikTok family. Usually on YouTube, Facebook, and everything else. I didn't even put it over there today. Should have started that one too. Make sure all my internet was gonna work. How about that, y'all? up in here and getting the intro ready. All right.
Stop this thing here.
Come on. How much, y'all? All right, booyah, back in the building. I can see Brother Dan there. All right. Say hi to the family, Dan. They see you.
Hey, how everybody doing?
All right, here we go. They see you, Dan. All right, let me go and start this thing, family. All right. Woo! You know, I like to let that ride on out. Oh, let me let that continue for a little bit. Before we get this party started. We up in this piece, family. Woo! All right, fam. Without further ado, let's hit this. I want to say welcome back to everybody to the Black Hot Fire Network show. I'm your host, Mr. Black Hot Fire. Always on that ass. And we're broadcasting from the homeland of the United States of America, all the way over to the mother continent of Africa, because we're truly one of the only international radio shows, and that's what's up. Now I want to give a shout out to everybody watching us on YouTube, everybody on Facebook, everybody on Instagram, everybody on Twitter/X, everybody on Rumble, everybody on Twitch, and everybody listening to us on the Foundational Black channel, BlackHotFireNetwork.com, and all podcasting platforms nationally. So strap on your head again and get ready for the ride. So ring this alarm, because you know what time it is when we ring this alarm, right? School's back in, stupid. Here we go. Black Hot Fire. Come on. Woo! Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Black Hot Fire. Ah, yeah, sounds so sweet in the streets. Now as we proceed to give you what you need, come on in, smash that like button, or wherever you're at, you know, hit the heart. If you're on Instagram, you're on TikTok, you're on Facebook, whatever protocol you need to do, smash up them likes for a brother. You know, don't be stingy, it's free. Black Hot Fire. Come on. Now today we're going to talk about a little serious topic. We're going to go down a rabbit hole a little bit. We want to know who actually runs this planet, right? Who actually runs this planet, family? Who are the real rulers, right? We want to ask that question. Who actually rules us? Now, we've been doing a little research, most likely like everybody else has. Who actually runs the world? You know, who actually runs this thing? Far from the conspiracy theory, who actually runs the planet? Black Hot Fire. Come on. How you doing, Sister Michelle? We up in this piece, family. Black Hot Fire. Come on, come on, come on. We up in here. Oh, never gets old, does it, family? Black, hot, fire. All right. Black, hot, fire. All right, family. How's everybody doing this evening? Right? Saturday night. Not Friday night. I'm all messed up. So, family, we have been going down deep in the rabbit hole of who actually runs this planet. And there's so many interconnecting dots that had to be connected. Well, the more you go down the rabbit hole, like, Alice in Wonderland, the further you go down, you go down and then all dots start to connect. All these dots start to connect, and we see this family is connected to this family, that family connected to this family, and they always try and tell you it's a conspiracy theory. But sadly, these things are not conspiracy theories. So I got my man Dan here, who's been doing some research as well. He's going to take a little further down the rabbit hole. And so I'm really almost going to turn this, I'm going to be like the co-pilot today and let him turn over the shore as he dives deeper into this rabbit hole. I'm going to discuss back and forth. I'm going to let it begin with him. So how you doing, Dan?
I'm all right, man.
You doing
a good night?
You doing good?
Uh-huh.
All right. You looking good, brother. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too, man. Likewise.
It's good to see you. Let me see. Make sure everybody can see you on TikTok, too. See way over there. Got a couple people in here on TikTok. We got 3 or 4. How's everybody doing on TikTok?
No, I still haven't learned how to work that thing, TikTok.
Yeah, we learning. You guys hit that like button on TikTok. Come in and leave out. Come in and leave out. So I'm going to turn this thing down right here and turn this over to Dan. We're going to talk about who actually runs the planet, which you're not supposed to know. Now, is it the cats with the small hats? Who knows? Who knows? But we'll let Dan take us down the rabbit hole. So I'm going to turn this right over to Dan right here as I turn over to his little presentation on the camera. You ready, Dan?
Yeah,
All right. It's on you, brother.
All right. First, I wanted to start off with the lesser known families, man, because a lot of people just talk about the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. The majority we always hear. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to talk about the lesser known families because when I did my research, come to find out that they actually had the most effect on us as black people, like on the ground.
So Dan is saying there's actually other families that have more of an effect on us as black people that touch us on the ground than the higher echelons of what they would call the luminous ones, the Illuminati or the Bilderberg Group or any other, the Club of Rome, and so many other fictitious names that they go by. So saying there's other smaller families that have a bigger role on us as black people. So I'm gonna let them take it away, family. Learn something from this because we went deep into the rabbit hole, a lot of looking up anything, and everything connects. I mean, it's just like this family connects to that family. This family connects to this family. This family connects to that family. And that family connects to this family. And this family connects to this family. And it's all behind the scenes. It's really like hide in plain sight. That's the best way to call it. Things have been hidden in plain sight. So I'm going to turn the thing over to Dan and let Dan start his presentation. You got it, Dan.
All right. First family I want to talk about was the Freeman family. The Freeman family basically now when you hear the name Freeman, I don't want people to think that every single person with the last name Freeman is involved. No, it's just a select few. Because if you go back to what we was talking about, these small hats use English sounding names to hide their true identity.
You sound good. I was checking your sound.
Yeah. And they also have a deep connection with Mormonism. Mormonism.
Mormonism.
Yeah. And one thing I found out that blew my mind when I was researching this family is that a guy named Stephen A. Freeman helped to fund the civil rights movement using drug money. And he did that through Jesse Jackson. him and Jesse Jackson was real good friends.
So if you guys understand, we always said Jesse Jackson was a paid agent. And it's even deeper than that. So remember that they never tell you that the civil rights movement was paid for with drug money, family. You have to know this. So this will let you know the civil rights movement was paid for with illegal, illicit drugs. Okay? Not pharmaceutical drugs, but actual drug dealing. Okay? Illegal drugs. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, this other guy, too, that I put on the slide, Louis LaRoche, exposing the top families' involvement in the drug trade. And that's key, too, because he actually authored a book called Dope Inc. that outlined all of that. And to all you all listening, like, if you can, like, I would go get that book and try to reference a lot of this stuff. And, like, basically they use that drug money to fund the civil rights movement for one main purpose, to form the Anti-Defamation League, which is why you can't say anything about them to this day. So they,
see, what he's talking about is the Anti-Defamation League is like the watchdogs. If anybody's trying to say anything about the so-called Zionists and Judaism, but you don't, but just it's to make that a now dirty word. You can't criticize these individuals, because if you do that, you're being labeled anti-Semitic when you don't have a Semitic bone in your body. Because African people are really Semitic as well. So you don't have a Semitic, but that's the catch-all phrase they use on you to make sure you're not able to criticize them and critique what they're doing in the world. So that's to shut you up. That's the catch-all thing. If you say anything about it, you're anti-Semitic. You go ahead, Dan.
Okay. Now, coming back to the Freeman, I should have told you. Let me get that notepad right there. Because another interesting side note that I was looking up too yesterday. You remember when I told you I was doing some research on this cat named Rosenwald.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you move your thing on your pants.
Oh, okay. My bad. Not paying attention. Apologize for that. But it was this guy named Rosenwald. Here we go. Julius Rosenwald. You know what I'm saying? Part owner of Sears Roebuck.
Right.
I think they damn near out of business now.
Okay.
But I did some research on him and kind of find out, he was the guy that funded that critical race theory. A guy named black guy from Harmony, Mississippi, named Derek Bell. That's the guy that came up with the whole critical race theory, and it was funded by a Jew. Remember what we always said.
But I'm saying, is that where you want to start first? Is that the beginning of your discussion?
Well, like I was just getting into like basically like how these people affect us on the ground level as black people. Okay. You know, then I was going to get back to something else dealing with Freemasonry and Zionism and how that all ties in.
All right, whatever you're comfortable with. Go ahead.
Okay. Like and basically like he was the one that funded like the critical race theory, but I think his sister, Edith Rosenwald, married a guy named Edgar B. Stern. You know what I'm saying? Edgar B. Stern, you know what I'm saying, was the guy who benefited off the New Orleans cotton trade. You know, Lehman Stern and Company.
Okay, but give us some years. What year is this?
That was in 1907, because I think that was the same year he graduated from, because he went to Dillard for 1 year. And then he graduated from Harvard. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so what's this individual's name we're talking about?
Edgar B. Stern.
So it was Edgar B. Stern. What's this thing doing? Okay, so that was Edgar B. Stern that goes on to Harvard after he leaves Deal University in New Orleans, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you got to understand. What I failed to say was that first year he went to Dillard. That's when he joined the synagogue down there in New Orleans. And
so that's where his contacts were made.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what got him into Harvard.
Okay. So he's an individual that now, after he leaves Harvard, he comes back to New Orleans and sits on the cotton what?
No, he was the president of New Orleans Cotton Exchange.
Okay. So what's his linkage with the civil rights movement?
Basically, like that was way before the civil rights.
I know, it's 1990. I'm going where you going. You got to start. I'm going, but
that was just
you don't bring them up. You got to you got to start with a baseline first. You got to bring us along. You was at
like
civil rights.
Well, you know, like what we talked about, like researching this stuff is like it leads you down one rabbit hole and stuff like that.
Well, to do it, we got to stay on one rabbit hole. We got to put it in order.
Okay. Well, we'll just stay with Rosenthal. I think that was the a relevant part of that.
All right.
And how he funded the critical race theory and how that was used today, you know, as a launching pad to attack us now. The whole critical race theory.
But how old is that? Was that Rosenthal? You say he's back in the early 1900s, right? The early 20th century, right?
No, that was back in the 1960s.
So Rosenthal is an individual that went to Harvard, right? Mm-hmm. Went to Harvard, and then he proceeded to be on the New Orleans Cotton Exchange.
No. We talking about Edgar Stern.
Okay, hold on, you got me mixed up.
That's my fault. That's my fault.
You got me mixed up, Dan. Okay. You got to stay with. You saying too many names. Let's start with one family, Dan. Okay. So one family. Then let's build on that.
Okay. Well, I just basically threw that out there, basically to outline how Julius Rosenwald basically funded like the whole critical race theory that was developed by a guy called Derrick Bell from out of Harmony, Mississippi.
Okay. And what year was this? This critical race theory stuff started back in the 60s?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because you remember when they said they funded the radical and the conservative. Yeah, but that's all I really wanted to get because you remember, like you said, don't get into like.
Well, I'm sure you just start from the beginning. Start from start from one family, work your way out.
Okay, well, this is tough. Like, okay, well, we're gonna go back to the Freeman family then. How about that?
All right, go back to the Freeman family.
All right, Freeman family and their involvement with this thing called Pride in Zion. And come to find out, that is actually that controlling body of Freemasonry. That controls Freemasonry.
All right, the Prayer of Zion. Mm-hmm. All right.
Like basically, and this is like the whole reason why, like so many people like pledge their allegiance to like the Ashkenazi Jews.
Okay.
Like going back what you said, like how, like when you swear in the office, like you got to make that pledge to Israel.
All right.
So it all goes back like to that.
All right.
And it's no accident that most of these like presidents, senators, and governors like all involved in some secret society or another.
Okay.
Or some secret organization. And Pride in Zion, come to find out, has a lot to do with that. Another interesting note too, man.
You got your notes right down. Do your presentation.
Yeah. Another interesting note too is that, like the Order of Zion, a lot of their teachings and their knowledge is based on our Hermetic knowledge that comes out of ancient Kemet.
Yeah, so it comes out the Hermetica. It comes from Hermes Trismegistus. Yes, it does. That's true. So we know Hermes Trismegistus goes back to Thoth. So we know Hermes Trismegistus goes back to Thoth. See, these reincarnations of the same deity. So a lot of these teachings, a lot of these secret societies goes back to ancient Kemet and African spirituality family. So that way to all be, they've taken our spirituality and they've corrupted it and used it for their own benefit. So understand that all these secret societies are steeped in what they call Hermeticism. All right? The Hermetica. Named after Hermes Trismegistus. We go ahead, Dan.
Okay, and that's pretty much all I got from the Freemans.
Okay.
Like, with that whole family.
All right.
Like and they tied to like other families too, like the Russells, and the Collins and stuff like that.
I guess that people don't know Russells and Collins, and yet you have made a definitive understanding of it. You know they are. You haven't told your audience who the Russells and the Collins.
The Russells and the Collins are basically other branches of what you would call the elite, or the elite Zionists that run the planet. Like, say for instance, like the Russells, like if you ever heard of a Jehovah's Witness, like,
of course.
yeah, like, I believe the guy that created that, like, they come from that family, like the Russells.
All right.
And the Collins.
Okay, let's do an outline of all the families that you're talking about. Name all the families so we can understand who you're talking about.
Okay, we're talking about the families that run the world, like the Astors.
Okay, the Astors you got.
The Collins.
The Collins.
You talking about the ones I'm talking about?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the ones you're talking about so we can define what because y'all open, we make an outline of the families that you're talking about, and then we take one at a time. What are their specialties and how does it affect us as a people? Okay, so we want to put some structure to this thing. Okay, so
well, the first one, of course, we talked about was the Freemans.
Okay, you got the Freemans. Who else?
And then the DuPonts.
The DuPonts.
And I wanted to talk about the Lees too.
Okay, the Lees.
And that's pretty much it right there.
That's what you're gonna talk about tonight. Okay, well let's distinguish which ones. Okay, which ones are you gonna talk about first?
Well, I just got finished talking about the Freemans.
Okay, you did the Freemans. Okay, which one's next? Who we talking about next? Okay, so man, we're talking about the DuPonts. DuPont's known for chemicals and other industrial waste products and chemistry, everything else. But the DuPonts, everybody know those are one of the big elite families. So Dan is going to structure where the DuPont started from and what they've been involved in. Go ahead, Dan.
All right. I want to say the DuPonts are basically like just a family. Like they started out making gunpowder when they first came to the United States.
So the DuPont family is from France, and they migrated over here, I think, in the out of the late 1700s or early 1800s. I'm not exactly sure the DuPonts arrived on the shore, but like Dan said, they came here and they first initiated themselves in gunpowder business.
And then from there, like it just took off when like they made certain connections. Like say for instance, like because once they made their fortune off the gunpowder, they started moving into like plastics and other chemicals like that.
Okay.
And then
so this is how the chemical empire starts.
Right, and then from there they make deals with people like Rockefellers.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they actually had some type of deal with John D. Rockefeller, and they started DuPont Oil, I think it was.
Yeah.
Something like that.
DuPont Chemicals.
Yeah. And from that, that they also use like say for instance like DuPont's and like they Tennessee plant, like they use that to push a lot of their new age concepts. You know, basically saying like
new age concepts like what?
Like not slaying the ego, like which basically like promotes lateral thinking, metaphorical thinking, visual thinking, association triggers, rapture and interpreter dreamers, and environmental rewards. Basically like conserving the planet, you know, not polluting and cutting down. That's where that whole idea came from. And they wanted to test it on like their regular workers, particularly down at their Tennessee plant.
All right.
So that's where a lot of those ideas came from.
Ideas like what?
Like basically like new age philosophy.
Okay.
Like you know the whole.
So are you saying that DuPont spearheaded the new age philosophy?
I wouldn't say spearheaded, but they did a lot in testing it.
There's a lot of funding of it, but right. Yeah. See, most of these things you think of new age, they come out of spontaneous, come up from the ground. They're usually always sponsored by the elite, and you think it's come up from the ground. Even like the hippie movement was created by the CIA. You know, you think all these things are spontaneous grassroots movements when they're not. They always have a hidden hand from the elite. Go ahead, Dan.
All right. And also the DuPonts are big in artificial intelligence, you know, and they're creating a brave new world, if you will.
Okay.
You know, through one of their subsidiary companies, Empirical Chemicals. And also, like, the DuPonts also have an aerospace connection, too. That's another industry, too. I forgot that they was into like particularly with Lockheed Martin and Boeing, and they do a lot of work with Area 51.
All right.
Supposedly, like that can't be directly proven because it's Area 51, of course. But you know, the DuPont's also responsible for various different water treatment programs too.
Yeah. So, oops. About that.
Because I found out because they make a lot of chemicals, and that would be fluoride, and you know, like other like solutions that they use to like quote purify the water or whatever.
So that's where the power comes from?
Yes.
So we got to connect. See what we're trying to do. Dan is all over. Dan's not used to giving presentations. We're trying to give them the focus. Maybe I should have. We're trying to give them the focus to understand. You have certain families that run the planet, okay? That they're above the governments. And most people don't understand this, especially like they don't understand how it affects also the individuals in Africa. They don't understand you have certain families that over governments that actually run this planet. And that's why they're trying to push for a new world order. They're trying to collapse governmental power, because they've already bought out all politicians on the planet. That's why politicians serve at behest or at benefit of this global elite family. Whether you call them the Bilderberg, you got them over in the WF, which is the World Economic Forum. These are families that are over the governments now. And what they're trying to do is collapse the world governments where they come up as a new world order. Okay? And a lot of these families are hidden behind the scenes that we don't never know, right? We never understand who actually runs this planet. So what we're trying to do is connect the dots so everything's interconnected from Africa to America to Europe. That these people run the planet. Okay? You're never supposed to know this. You think it's some governmental order that runs the governments don't run anything. The governments are just puppets of these bankers and billionaire family members. Okay, interconnecting. That's why everybody should go also read the book called The Committee of 300, where he breaks it down too. You have a committee of 300 men that run this planet. That's what all businesses are under the same house as Vanguard, BlackRock, and Blackstreet. They own the majority shares in all businesses on the planet. And you think you run by a government? You are not. The IMF, the World Bank, the Bank of International Settlements are not government owned. They are family owned by individuals. They're private corporations, just like our Federal Reserve Bank. So all these families own these banks and these institutions. And so they wield power from behind the scenes so that you never know. You think it's just some family, and they're always supposed to be doing some meticulous philanthropic, I can't even get the word out right, philanthropic work, which they don't do. They have to be, we're doing philanthropy work. That's just a scam. They don't do any philanthropy. That's a scam to just increase their power. Okay? So you need to understand that. So go ahead, Dan. You continue with the DuPonts.
Okay, speaking of like...
See, these are just the American versions. I remember you got a whole European version that Danny's never even touched yet. These are the American versions. There's a whole European side that we haven't even touched yet. And these individuals run this planet. These governments, you can't find any election that's ran properly on the planet now. They're all selections. Like in Africa, all Africa is just a puppet continent for puppets. Africa is a puppet continent, okay? To be stolen, to be exploited. And their puppets come, their puppets go. They put a new puppet in, take another puppet out, put a new puppet in, take another puppet out. That's what they do. But go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, speaking of like these families controlling like politicians, the DuPont family was also close friends with the Roosevelt family too, as well. Matter of fact, one of their family members actually married one of the DuPonts. I'm looking for that slide. Hold on, give me a second.
So we're talking about presidential power family, where you got the families connecting. Now the DuPonts intermarried with the Roosevelts. And we know the Roosevelts, cousins, both were presidents of the United States, whether it be Teddy Roosevelt and also Theodore Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt and Franklin Roosevelt.
He actually Franklin Delano Roosevelt actually married Ethel DuPont and fathered two sons, Roosevelt III and Christopher DuPont Roosevelt. Franklin Delano Roosevelt graduated from Yale and was a Navy midshipman and served as a minesweeper and received a master's from Columbia University. But what I found interesting was he also went to a school called the New School, which was in New York at the time. And at this school, he was actually good friends actually with this guy called Charles Davenport. Now, here's where this guy gets interesting. Now, I'm talking about Charles Davenport now, because these are the type of people they associate with and that they fund.
Okay.
Now, Charles Davenport, like, he was a biologist and a eugenicist. And
so now we're talking about the eugenicist movement, family. Understand, we're not going to go deep because we're on YouTube right now. So eugenicists didn't start from Hitler. It started from American elites who created Hitler and told Hitler how to do these eugenics programs. Okay? You need to know that. I'm sure most, us in America know about the eugenics program. And eugenics also started the pharmaceutical industry as well. Is that funny? The pharmaceutical industry was started by Rockefeller, and then when they wanted to, take over that industry. Well, let's just say it's just deep. Go ahead then.
All right. Speaking of that, he helped the first, when he founded the International Federation of Eugenics Organization, he held the first meeting in Munich, Germany.
Okay.
And,
you know the year?
Yes, that was 1928.
So 1928, family. So this is when they about to prop up Hitler, little Adolf. Go ahead.
Right. And in the following year, they did an experiment in Jamaica called race crossing in Jamaica, which was basically designed to prove why eugenics was needed. And
so understand, fam, this when America was doing all kind of experiments as far on black people, as far as sterilizing them, making them infertile because they said we wasn't fit to live, we wasn't fit to breathe because we were a lesser human being.
Right.
We were lesser people genetically. Even though our genetics as African people are the most superior on the planet, their quackery science said that we were lesser individuals through this big quackery science called eugenics. And so they wanted to prove to themselves that, that everyone was inferior to the white man and woman. So what Dan is saying, they put up an experiment in Jamaica, which is a poor Caribbean country. And so I'm sure they did inform the black people that they were going to be experimenting on them, because that's what they usually always do to us as a people. They experiment on us without our knowledge and without our permission. So they were doing cross-miscegenation in Jamaica to try to prove that the blacks were an inferior class and there should be no cross-breeding with black and white people because we were an inferior stock. Go ahead, Dan.
And guess who funded it all? The Carnegie Institution.
So we know the Carnegie Institution, which is, we understand the Carnegies and the Rockefellers go hand in hand. Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller were best of buddies. So we know that them, as individuals, were funding all these eugenics programs. And they wasn't for the betterment of humanity. Okay? They were never for the betterment of humanity as they funded these programs. See, eugenics, we know what eugenics is today. See, eugenics means good genes. Right? So I said that they had the best genes. And every other race was defective in their breeding and in their existence. So that led them to do forced sterilization of people around the globe. Now these are these individuals, these families, and they had never been brought to justice for the crimes of humanity that they have created. You know, they can't deny that the eugenics program existed and it did heinous crimes, but no one was ever brought to any justice whatsoever. But go ahead, Dan. So I want you to see the genesis of these individual families who are going to prop up Hitler. Okay, they're going to prop up Hitler.
Right.
So I want you to know you got steel magnet Andrew Carnegie hooking up with another individual that's now going down to Jamaica to do experiments on black people by doing cross miscegenation to show that these Africans in Jamaica are inferior. And that's why eugenics is needed on the planet. This quackery science. Go ahead, then.
Yeah, he also wrote a book too of the same year in 1929 called Heredity and the Relations to Eugenics, which basically outlines selective breeding. So, like, these are the people, like, so I was just basically taking you from the Roosevelts, well, basically, from the DuPonts to the Roosevelts, and then to who the Roosevelts associated with.
Okay.
And then this individual, how he associated with the Carnegie. Yeah, right. Because, like you said, it's kind of hard to, like,
connect to put all the families together in one whole. So you see, it was the elite families family. So as you see, it was the elite families that were conspiring against what they call lesser individuals on the planet, of less stock, of bad breeding, that they were doing these wicked experiments on behind everybody's back, beknownst to everyone else. And this is where you get the rise of Adolf Hitler and the complete explosion in Nazi Germany of eugenics being practiced on, sadly enough, those Jewish individuals in those camps. Okay, these are all these wicked experiments that were practiced at the time because they were there. That was like their personal test bed. These were the individuals who were in America. That's why all these wicked Nazis were allowed to come back to America under Operation Paperclip. See, I want to tell you, the Nuremberg trial killed a lot of Nazis. It did not. The majority of the Nazis came here because the people that created the Nazis run this country. So with all their fake propaganda and their fake movies they give you, they're fighting the Nazis and all that's nonsense. That's propaganda. They were involved in funding the Nazis. They were funding all these eugenics programs. They're the ones who brought the Nazis over here in secret. They didn't prosecute them. They didn't persecute them. Prosecute them. They brought them all over here to continue those same experiments by the thousands. So they were in cahoots with the same people we were supposed to be fighting in World War II. They created that system through the eugenics movement. And so these families are connected. You got Roosevelt with Dan DeSillian. He was in prison at the time during World War II. His family's involved in eugenics. But you see all these goopy movies about telling you who's a hero and who to worship. So this is called mind control because they own Hollywood. Understand this? Well, you get all these Holocaust movies. You get 1,000 Holocaust movies every time, right? Let's give you sympathy to think that that Hitler acted alone when he did not. The American elite created Hitler. You got to ask yourself, how does a poor painter, a poor artist from Austria become the chancellor of Germany? Not without friends in high places, family. Not without friends in high places do a poor artist from Austria becomes the chancellor of Germany. It just doesn't happen by happenstance. It doesn't happen by osmosis. There's a plan behind the madness. And so we've been propagandized against, not to look at the people that actually run this planet. They put up their own boogeyman, and when they fall, they make movies and tell you, that's the boogeyman. This the boogeyman. Hitler's the boogeyman. Man, it's really these psychopathic families are the boogeymen. These are people that own these banks, on the majority of the corporations on this planet. And since they have nothing but time to kill, they think of all kind of wicked, evil schemes to run on the populace. And that's what you see happening. The idea that you would be able to sit around and think that your Gen X is better because you've been able to steal more money than the next man. You know, all their fortunes are based on theft, graft, and lies. The whole fortune is based on theft, graft, and lies. So the idea that they think they were better than us, better than a common man who tries to be honest, you know, is absolutely insane. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, basically like the DuPonts, like their family started with one guy, Pierre Samuel DuPont. And his sons basically founded the main two branches of the family. They expanded their wealth through the chemical industry, automotive industry, and with industries with interest in DuPont company, General Motors, and other companies. Mm-hmm. So there you go. That's
so what does DuPont have to do with General Motors?
Basically, like they made a lot of their car parts, and stuff like that.
Okay.
And they did a lot of business with Henry Ford himself.
All right.
Yeah. I think they even had a few members of them married in with the Fords.
All right.
But I gotta go back and there's just so much stuff. Actually, one of the DuPonts, Victor Marie DuPont, designed the U.S. Naval Academy curriculum. I think that was during the Civil War when he tried to bombard the port of Charleston, but he lost bad. Like as the movie implies, like you remember when they tried to bombard.
What movie are you talking about?
No, it was basically about a movie about the Civil War when they tried to. It was an impenetrable fort in South Carolina, in Charleston.
Okay, I'm saying, was he a Confederate or was he
No, he was a Union.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And basically, like the bombardment lost.
All right.
Basically, like he was basically one of the guy that designed the U.S. Navy curriculum at the time.
All right.
And I think they still keep it. And his family crest basically means just basically stand upright. That's basically what it translates to in Latin. And I think that's pretty much like it with the DuPont families, like that, and they got controlling interests like in other things like oil and stuff like that.
I'm waiting on you. It's on you, but the family doing this.
You know what? I wanted to get into the Lee family.
All right, we'll go because you ain't making these people sound too wicked yet. I'm trying to figure out what you're just saying. Okay, you're not making them sound real wicked. You're just saying they just do. You make them sound like everyday business people in there.
No, no, it's just not that. Like, it's just like
you haven't made no connection. You got it's like you're pleading your case, but your case is falling short. Go ahead. So now you want to talk about the Lee family. Where are the Lee family from?
China.
Okay, Lee family from China. Mm-hmm. How's the last name spelled?
L.I.
So L.I. All right.
Well, in China, like they do their surnames first.
Okay.
Basically the Lee family, like they control everything in Hong Kong. Like I think it's Lee, Ho, Lo, and Wei. As far as like wealth and power. That controls like China. And Lee Pong used to visit the Rothschilds and Rockefellers whenever he came to New York.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so there's that connection right there. Like,
how are they involved in the Chinese Communist Party?
Well, that goes back to what's the guy named Li Ping? Like Li Ping used to be like, I think, how do you say it? One of Mao Zedong advisors.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and from that, like, he used to work like deep with the Soviet Union. So what he used to do was like he used to send messages back from the Soviet Union to Mao Zedong, like that.
Okay, so they were helping Mao come to power then.
Right.
And so they were helping Mao come to power. I guess they were counter agents because they were also working under. Cause at that time, China didn't have control of Hong Kong. So since they got since they're so well established in Hong Kong, you would think they also had dealings also with high up in the British government.
Yes, they do. They do. With the
MI6 and everything else.
Right. With the Rothschilds.
Okay. Exactly. Yeah, London.
Well, that's the reason why every time they used to go like to New York and like visit, like with the whole UN thing. Mm-hmm. That's why like they used to visit meet with the Rockefellers.
So what Dan is saying, you had a Lee family that was critical involved in setting up the Communist Chinese Party through the Zionists back here in America, and one of these individuals being Mao Zedong's right-hand man, one of his advisors. So they were allowed to move in and out of capitalism and communism, because obviously they had businesses in Hong Kong. So they're not even really truly communists. They're really about being authoritarians and control. See, because none of these ideologies they really believe in. They're just means to an end, or ends to a means, right? It means to an end. So they'll say that communists, capitalists, whatever gives them more money and more control is what they'll use. So, okay, so this Lee family, okay, so who is the beginning of the Lee family? Did they go back a long way, or do they have a certain starting point, or what?
Well, they go way back to like early Chinese dynasties. I don't know which one, like, because I didn't think it was like relevant to like.
Yeah, that's okay. Well,
look at, but they do go back. I think like to the Yang dynasty or something like that.
Okay, well, I'm saying are they a family unit? Is it brothers, or is it a family like the Rothschilds or Rockefellers?
Well, see, in China, like it kind of works like this. Like, if you got the last surname, then you will be considered like family. Like they'll treat you different from somebody as opposed to if they didn't have the same surname.
It's a lot of Lees, Dan. Everybody Lee's not the same family. It's a lot of damn Lees.
Right, but that's like, I'm just giving you like a little back context of like Chinese culture and how they do. But like what happened was some of like the Jewish families actually like moved to China and moved their business interests to China a long time ago and took on their surname.
Okay, so we're saying it was an infiltration of the Zionists going into China and changing the name to the surname Lee and doing business in China that way. Now having now gaining power and influence within that country.
Right.
All right. Okay, you go ahead.
Right, and that's basically like the link, like of why they would feel comfortable to rip apart like the American industrial system.
Yeah, why would they feel comfortable to send to China? Because the connections are already made. So when we say that they send our jobs and our technology to China, people say, well, why would they do that? Because unbeknownst to us, those connections have already been made underground connections between the Rothschild family in London and the Rockefellers in America. They've already made these connections with these other Zionist individuals in China. And so now they allowed them to now take the technology, the manufacturing, and set China up as a power. Because no one would do that. Because it's supposed to be a communist country and an enemy to the West. So it would make no sense, logically, for anybody to move their equipment, their technology, and all their manufacturing to a country that was so-called their enemy. That would be asinine. So these connections were already made years in advance. So it was easy to move the jobs, the manufacturing, the technology out of America and then reinstall it in China. See, talk about somebody railing against communism for all these years as the American government did. Oh, we're in Vietnam and South Korea fighting communism. Communism is bad, it's evil, communism. Oh, this wretched communism. And then you take one of the majority communist countries and you build it into a power. No one would do that. It wouldn't even make any sense. And not for no cheaper labor either. You could find cheaper labor in Africa or any place else on the planet. It wouldn't make sense for you to go to China and start to build them up as a power. If those connections were not already made. And they were already made. So that's why China had the benefit of growing economically, because those connections with these families, not the governments. So the governments are nothing more than tools of these families. These families already had connections that were running the power from behind the scenes. So they had made the conscious decision to set up China as their next empire. Okay? That's what happened. We go then.
Yeah, like right now, you got Li Ka-shing right now, who controls Hong Kong right now, and like his family, like they do basically telecommunications, and like they into technology and stuff like that, which is the reason why I think they having problems with Taiwan. I believe that's the Lees want to take over Taiwan and take over the semiconductor industry.
Yeah, chip business.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because like it makes perfect sense. Because like the Lees are like they own one of the biggest telecommunications. Like not just in China, but in Canada as well.
Are they connected with Huawei and any? They connected with Huawei at all?
No, Huawei is owned by another family. I believe that's the Wee family. Mm-hmm. But the Wee family is connected with the Lees, like through that way. So
wow.
So they also own like basically they family do they own ports too. They buy a lot of countries' ports out too. Mm.
Battery almost ran out.
Yeah, found out like as far as power, wealth, and influence, they up there with the Rockefellers actually.
Okay, which one? Who's that? The Lee? Okay. So, do they have any? Are they part of the communist communist power structure, or are they outside of that?
Yes, they actually do. Like they're part of the. They actually got members in the government in Beijing. Mm-hmm. I think what is it? One of the damn premiers, like one of the premiers, actually a member of the Lee family. I was looking at that earlier today.
So are we saying is Xi Jinping ran by them, or are they
Well, yeah, that premier, like I forget his name. I know he's elite, but like that premier, he actually basically keeps Xi Jinping on
a leash.
Yeah, tells him what to do, and that's pretty much how it works in China.
So you're trying to say that all the lies about Xi Jinping is not all powerful then?
No. It's like it's a power behind it. But because when you're dealing with these people like that, there are no governments.
Exactly.
Like, it's only them.
Exactly. Once you know these families, exactly, they have no governments. They have no allegiance to any governments or any countries. There's no allegiance to any country or any governments. Everything's about their power.
That's it.
So we know there's a connection between the Lee family and the Rothschilds and Rockefeller. So that's why they had no problem in moving everything over to China. See, when you get all nothing noise and propaganda, because it doesn't make sense why America would peaceably take everything up out of America and move it to China. It wouldn't make any damn sense. Not for better wages, and it's easier to do business over there. Because you say these are communist countries, and communism was an enemy to capitalism. See, these are all the propaganda handbags that they put you in. They put you in a bag, talking about capitalism fighting communism. We're now in bed with the communists. Because I told you, these families created all these isms. Socialism, capitalism, communism, and they move them around whenever benefits them to now start to work us into a communist technocracy. That's what they're trying to build, a technocracy right now. Okay, where they remove the government, they openly tell you that they want to remove the governments and have technocrats in charge of us as a people. That's a no. That's not going to work. So that's why all the propaganda is so deep. That's why the censorship is so deep. That's why the foolishness on the internet is so deep, talking about idiotic nonsense, especially in the black community. It's constantly entertainment, who's being with who's trying to get a date on Saturday, all kind of idiotic nonsense, just dribble talk, a white supremacist talk every 24/7, and not find out, hey, it's bigger than just white supremacy. You have a group of families that run this planet, and they are intertwined with one another. Their interests interconnect. That's the reason why all the troubles on this planet exist. It's not by happenstance, not by osmosis. Like I try to tell you, everything's a mystery. Things happen that we just don't know. We got no way to control it. Those are lies. Absolute lies. You'll find somebody behind all this death and destruction. That's what you see all the time. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, back what I was talking about earlier with the Rosenwald character and like his sister Mary and Edgar B. Stern. Like I basically like outlined that to basically, you know what I'm saying, tie them back to like the slave trade and like plantations and like all that sharecropping, and show that they was the ones actually making money off the cotton and stuff like that, because he started a company called Lehman and Stern.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about the guy I was telling you about earlier, Edgar B. Stern. Ever heard of a company called Bears?
You know Bears and Stern, but are you okay? Is this the Stern family? You know what I'm saying? Where we going from China? Are we done with China?
Yeah, we done with that.
Okay, so where are we going now?
Yeah, I basically just want to go back to that point. Basically to the Rosenwald character, like, and basically like, you know, kind of tie him all into like.
We lost again. We know about Rosenwald. Rosenwald's what? You gotta go back and redefine who Rosenwald was for us.
Basically, Rosenwald was a Jew. Basically, like he was part owner of Sears and Roebuck.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes back. So is he one of the original founders back in the 1800s, or did he buy it later on in his life? How old is this Rosenwald character? Does he go back to like the 1800s?
No, he don't go back that far. Like, okay. He probably go back to like the early 1900s.
Okay.
Yeah, around that time. Because like I said, he funded Derek Ball in his critical race theory.
That's later. That's all the way up in the 60s, though.
Right. But
what was the old man then?
Yeah, like he was like, I think he was like in his 50s when he funded that.
Well, he was in his 50s. He can't be in the early 1900s.
No, I'm talking about that. I thought you asked me when he was born.
Oh, so he's born in okay, yeah. I'm saying when did he come into owning Sears? And so he owned it much later. I'm trying to get a groundwork down of these people you're talking about.
Right.
You're naming people without no ground, and we gotta know who are these people, and where they and you throwing all these people at us.
Okay. But yeah, Rosenwald was basically like part owner of Sears and Roebuck.
Okay, so what family? Why should we care about him? What family is he involved in?
He's involved in like the Freeman family. Like that's why I tied him into.
All right, but go back. Okay, so it's the Freeman family. Okay, you got to tell that back in. Okay, he's part of. I was lost too. Okay, so he's part of the Freeman family, right? Okay. Okay, so the Freeman. Go ahead.
No, but basically, like, only reason why I copied him down because, like, I wanted to show how, like, all these other corporations and banks got started off of, like, the cotton exchange and stuff like that. I just thought it was, like, something noteworthy.
But you didn't say it. You got
okay.
You got to bring that up to us. You saying, okay, you tell us, okay, you're saying you brought him up, then explain what banking institutions got started off of Freeman and dealing with cotton, so we'll know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't.
Okay. Oh man, I'm not good.
No, take your time. No big deal.
All right.
So family, he's talking about the Freeman family. It's another powerful family that sits behind the scenes. And they've actually started in the cotton business. So through the cotton business allowed them to own what, banks?
Yes, basically like retail companies, like retail companies, and like I said, like his sister, Edith Rosenwald, she was the one that married Edgar B. Stern.
She's one that married him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's how he got into the family.
Okay, so Edgar B. Stern. So Stern comes out of New Orleans as well?
Yes.
And he ends up in New York,
Yes.
creating Bears, probably a partnership with another individual creating Bears and Stern. So we know Bears and Stern, if you don't know, was a Wall Street entity that went out of business during the last, crisis, 2008 economic meltdown. A lot of these companies went under, like a Lehman Brothers, Bear Stearns. How many went down? You had Bear Stearns, you had Lehman Brothers, you had what's the one with that bull? So many that went down. I can't even think of the top of my head. But during the 2008 meltdown, where we bailed every one of them out for them destroying the economy, that's how you know the government's run by families, not by any government. They literally held the American government at gunpoint, said, give us money or the country would cease to exist. And since they control the politicians, they were given billions of dollars, and sadly enough, we're right back at the same place again. We're right back at the same place again. We're here again. And it's the same individuals that have destroyed the economy, and now they're trying to work us into what they call a digital bank currency. Okay? A central digital bank currency that we're going to say no to. See, because if we say yes to a CBDCs, that means complete control. This is why they run around talking about you need a vaccine ID. You need they run in every country trying to connect everything up to this digital bank currency. It's going to be complete control. It's the new feudalism. As I taught you guys so many years ago, they believe in feudalism. That's all they've ever known. They think of all these fake terrorist groups that shock you to fear so you'll pass laws that do not benefit you to lock you down even more. Everything is terrorism, terrorism, terrorism. Now their system is dying again. This is the new scam they're coming up with. The Central Digital Bank Currency, CDBCs. And if you ever sign on to them, that's the end. Because they want to be able to control where you spend your money. If you say anything against the government, you will not be able to eat a cent. They also want to chip your ass with a goddamn microchip. This is the new ID. Connect to your passport. Connect to your regular, your vaccine, all your medical records. All this intrusive things that they want to do now. And they'll gaslight you and say that's not the truth. But now, see, these used to be conspiracy theories. When I talked about this, put some context behind it. When I talked about this years ago, it was called conspiracy theories. Now they told you, because that's the way they gaslight you. Tell you everything's a conspiracy theory when they already plan to do it. Because you have now Europe rolling out and talking about now we're going to go to see central bank digital currency, CBDCs, right? 7-8 years ago when I was talking about that was a conspiracy theory. You was a tinfoil hat nut. Because you weren't supposed to know that's what they were going to do. That's what they were trying to do. Now this would be complete slavery. Family, understand it's slavery. And these digital currencies would be backed by nothing. Another scam. Backed by nothing. That family. See, your governments wouldn't control them because your governments don't own the banks. See, these the same families trying to push their wicked ass scheme on the rest of the world to lock us down, have control. That's what all this fake global warming nonsense about. Talking about carbon credits, a new way of just creating money from nothing because their system is dying. They need more markets. They've gobbled up everything, so they need more markets to now create from nothing. Fictitious markets. That's what this global scam's about. And they want you to take on currency that that no government owns. It's these families, again, these banking cartels owned by families that would be in charge, control of it. Now you'll be out of your mind. You'll be out of your mind to sign up for any of this, that you want to be chipped like an animal. And for all you Christians, you should know this is your 666 beast system, because you would not be able to buy or sell without their permission. You understand that? Because they'll be able to cut your money off at any time they don't, like what you're doing. This is the complete surveillance state on steroids. This is a complete surveillance state, and you need to be fearful of that. They told you 7 years ago is all a conspiracy theory. Now they tell you, oh yeah, we must do it. It's to fight terrorism. It's to fight, everything's to fight terrorism, right? It's to fight terrorism. There's terrorism everywhere. It's to fight terrorism. And understand, all these terrorist groups were backed and funded by these same individuals. The ISIS, the Al-Qaedas, Al-Shabaabs, the Boko Harams. Every time they say they're fighting terrorists, they've always find embedded CIA agents. The whole thing with the Ukraine scam. I told you, they were not going to beat Russia. All in the media, Russia's almost losing. Russia's out of control. Russia's going to lose. Nothing but pure propaganda. Pure and simple. Russia's already run this war. They knew it was going to win in the beginning. But through Western media, you want to say Russia was the aggressor when they were not. Russia tried to have peace. The West refused. We refused to do it. And now the Ukrainian army is all busted up and broken. You got 12-year-old kids they putting on the front line. You got old men, 80 years old, they putting on the front line. 80-year-old men, 12-year-old boys. Because everybody's dead. That's a sad fact.
Yeah, and I wonder what happened to the Africans over there that they was forcing to fight over there in the Ukrainian war.
They probably dead. Remember what happened to them. The ones that did it are dead. Dead and stinking. This is cannon fodder. What happened to them?
What?
Cannon fodder.
Nah, because I just noticed that the media mentioned that one time and they ain't say nothing else about it.
I don't think those people are there no more anyway. So I don't think those people exist anymore. So Dan has been there put this. He's not used to doing shows and talking, so he wasn't able to tie this in the way it should be tied in. So we're gonna apologize for that. We're
it's my fault, family.
It's no big deal. He's new to this time. He's all over trying to gather all this information and put into one coherent understanding. And it's somewhat hard to do, especially if you're not used to doing this. And so, like I said, you got a group of individuals that are higher than the government, sadly enough. And they're trying to walk us into a complete slavery. And they're doing it through propaganda and sweet talk. Oh, this is to stop terrorism. Well, they're the ones who create the terrorists. Isn't that funny? And I told you it was terrorism in Iraq. They went and destroyed Iraq. They need to bring democracy, and Iraq's destroyed. They said Libya was a terrorist state. It went in Libya, destroyed it, bombed it to hell. Did they bring it? Did they build it back up? No, they just destroyed it with their fake terrorist talk. Syria, they bombed the hell out of Syria. Assad was a terrorist and all this other nonsense. Have they fixed Syria? No, they still created a military base and stole the man's oil. And so they want a wider war, fam. These individuals, they want a wider war. That's why they keep talking about Iran. Iran is bad. Iran might protect Israel. All this nonsense, propaganda. To get you fervored up to go against Iran when Iran hasn't done anything. Okay? Get you fervored up again on the Iranian con job. Because Israel right now is losing the PR, all the big propaganda, and actually losing the real war in the streets. Okay? And the Western media has been criminal in supporting the genocide. Don't believe your lying eyes. Believe what we tell you. Believe the propaganda. that we show, that we spew out on TV sets. And understand it's these individuals that run these banks, own these businesses, that are doing this. They're the ones own what we call the industrial military complex, or the military industrial complex. It's owned by these same individuals. And the government doesn't have a say. The government just brought along as parents. They'll do anything they're told to do. They already bought and paid for. And most of them are blackmailed through the Epstein situation that we had a few years ago, when Epstein was putting honeypots all over the planet and setting up child sex with these damn congressmen and senators. That's why you can't find the black book of Epstein. That's why, because the elite were using him to bribe or blackmail other public officials to do their bidding. This is how the real world works. And since Epstein is supposedly dead, I don't believe he's dead nowhere. I ain't seen nobody. I don't believe he's dead. You know, they the ones took him out of prison. Remember, his cameras all of a sudden didn't work when he supposed to commit suicide. Oh. And you're supposed to be a moron. His cameras didn't work when he's supposed to hung himself. And the two guards that were supposed to be looking at him all left their post. See, there's too many coincidences for you to be a moron if you believe that. Too many coincidences. The cameras go off. The two individuals that are supposed to be there looking at him, guarding him, go off their post at the same time. And the cameras go off inside the place to be watching them. All that happens at the same time. That's one hell of a coincidence.
That was too obvious.
You know, they want to call you a moron straight to your face. Call you an idiot. And so now, since their banking scam is coming to an end again, this is the new scheme they're trying to work in with the terrorism. We got to stop terrorism. We got to have a CBDC. You said this was a conspiracy theory 5 and 6 years ago. Now, how is it not a conspiracy theory? Now it's become a conspiracy fact. How is that possible? How's it even probable? Huh? You know, I'm waiting. I would like to know. So we're not run by government or power, family. We're run by powerful families from behind the scenes that peddle influence to all governments on the planet. They don't feel like they are attached to any government. They are outside of governments, and they are outside of nations. They're nations unto themselves because of their money and power. Understand that? They're nations unto themselves. And that's the way they feel, that they're nations unto themselves. They don't feel they have to answer to any nation. They feel that they're above nation states. And that's why they have no allegiance to any America, any China, any nothing. That's why they're trying to set up this new world, one world government. That's what Agenda 2030 is. When they talk about sustainable, what's the word they say? Sustainable something. People have a brain for it. Sustainable growth or something like that, which is all, sadly enough, nonsense. They want to talk about that sustainable. What comment is this? Too far away. Oh, okay. I'm trying to invite you. Try to do the invite again on TikTok. I tried to invite you. I tried to invite you. Ask it again. I pushed the invite button. It's not doing nothing. I tried to invite you. Ask to be invited again on TikTok. And I hit the button again to invite you. I gotta be calm now, man. I gotta be measured. I'm self-advertising space, man. I'm not getting no donations. I gotta sell advertising space over in Africa. I got too many employees now. I'm paying too many people. Playing people on farm, playing 9, 10 people in the studio. So I got to be measured now with my speech because no one wants to put advertising dollars on a radio station that's saying, using profanity and being too fiery. So, I gotta draw that back in. That's why you see me being so mellow now. That's why I'm being so mellow. So that's why I'm not as black hot fire as I used to be. So this is gonna be mellow fire from now on. I got bills to pay now. Shit, I got too many people on the staff. Back in the day, it was just me and 2 other people, man. I could go crazy. But now I got too many people I got to fund now, you guys. So I got to be a little more tailored in my delivery, a little more responsible. So, well, you won't hear no more cursing from me. You dang sure won't hear the N-word anymore. You might hear Negro, but you won't hear the cursing, and you won't hear the but I'll still be passionate. I'm still gonna be passionate, tell you the truth. But it's gonna be more tailored. It's gonna be more tailored. But like what Dan is saying, you have a group of families in America, then also in Europe, that move policy for the rest of the world from behind the scenes. They want to see real power is behind the scenes. It's quiet. And they have you thinking about kabuki theater, talking about this government here, this government there. They control the governments through their money, through their fake banking scam. All these officials are bought and paid for. You have no independence. Why nothing's ever done. You ever notice nothing's ever done for the American people or any people on the planet? Nothing. Every politician and everything they pass benefits what? Corporate power. People that run the corporations. So if they're not the ones who rule the planet, why don't the people ever get their votes and what they're voted for fulfilled? Huh? Why do the people never get fulfillment of anything that they ask for? Why is that? So you say we got a government for the people, of the people, but that's a lie. It's propaganda. It's a lie. We are in an oligarchy, right? For the few, controlled by the rich. And every one of these politicians are bought and paid for. Every last one. That's why they had a vote. What was that vote? I gotta look that up. That's why they had a vote, I think last week, trying to attack Zionism. If you say someone's Zionist, that's anti-Semitic now. And every one of these bought and paid for politicians signed that bill to try to pass it off, because that's how you know you can't say anything about these people, because they're the ones controlling this planet. Right? You never get no bills like that talking about nobody else but these individuals. No one ever gets a bill or anyone talking in this nature except these group of people. So people get to talk about, oh, it's the Jesuits that run the... Get out of here with that shit. The Jesuits and all these other distractions. There's no bill passed by Congress that you can't call people the Jesuits. But they're saying you can't call people Zionists. They're trying to attribute that to Judaism, but it has nothing to do with Judaism. And they don't care. So they passed that through Congress unanimously. So only one person, and all of one person, one said, I disagree. They're going to try to get his ass out of there, though, but one. So this is not a loose, it's not a lie. It's not made up. If you're now against the law, if you say anything about Zionism, you say anything about Zionism, now anti-Semitic. But most of the other Hasidic Jews, Orthodox Jews, do not agree with Zionism. Are they anti-Semitic too? Are they been anti-Semitic as well? I'd like to know. Somebody inform me. Is Robert on there? Who's on here?
No, Zionism is just a political belief system. Like,
I know exactly what it is.
It's not even a religion or a race. So, like,
exactly. But that's what they try. But it doesn't make a difference. Exactly right. As Dan said, it's a political system. It has nothing to do with a race or a religion, but they're tying it in with the race of people. And the race of people is a religion. So they're technically not even a race of people either. Judaism is a religion, not a race. It doesn't matter. People that run this planet doesn't matter. So you got them passing laws that say if you say anything against Zionism, you're anti-Semitic. As Dan told you, it doesn't make sense because that's a political persuasion. Nothing to do with a race or religion. That's a political belief. Not a race of people. They're not a race of people called Zionists. There are no Zionist people. But that doesn't matter. They want to make sure they shut you up, silence you all completely of having critical thought. You're not allowed in this country or anywhere in the world. They beat you down to have any criticism of these individuals that's running this planet and running into the dirt. You don't have the right. You're now being called an anti-Semitic because you're not allowed no more to distinguish between a religion and a political belief, which Zionism is. You got Judaism here, which is a religion. You have Zionism here, which is a political belief. Okay? Have nothing to do with each other, but that's what they're doing now.
Well, wait a minute. Well, what if somebody say neoconservative? I don't agree with neoconservatism.
They don't run the planet. So they can say it all day.
But neoconservative is basically the same thing as saying the Zionist. Right?
Well, closely, somewhat. But you can say neoliberalism is it too, because they start as neoliberals first. Whatever the neoconservatives, but they don't. That's not, people don't connect them to Judaism. So Zionism, they know what that is. They know what persuasion runs that and where it started from. So they don't want that out there. They don't want that out there whatsoever. They don't want that out there. So, like we're saying, it's more just the Rothschilds and Rockefeller family. We have extended families which have a lot of power that they yield against black people globally. Okay? We need to know that. Understand it's not a conspiracy theory. You're not a conspiracy nut. We're pointing this out. And like I said, where they want to move the world with all these lies and especially in Africa with these puppets in Africa, it's absolutely crazy. They decide on any goopy nonsense. Global warming, family, is a scam. It's a lie. It's a lie. But they need a new market, and this is what they're using. They don't give a damn. You think these corporations ever gave a damn about any damn global warming or any slaving the planet? No. But they give you GMOs, and they poison the air you breathe, poison the land you farm under, poison the seas. The idea that these corporations with these families are now going to be the saving grace is idiotic nonsense. It's another scam to try to keep their power. Okay? We need to know this. You understand this? We join over here too. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm not even reading you guys on TikTok. Over here, you guys got. You guys tap that screen. I guess tap that screen for me, family. When you guys come in, tap the screen on TikTok. Smash that screen on TikTok. You got any other family you want to talk about, Dan?
No, not really, man.
Not no more families today? Mm-hmm. That's it?
Man, like I said, because it's a lot of information to connect. Like,
I know, but what other
that's the reason why I was getting tripped up, because it's like
I got you.
One family leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. Like, but I was just trying to get down the main points. That's all. Like, and I was just trying to touch up on some of the less known families that we don't get around to talking about. That and the amazing thing was I found that they have the greatest effect on black people. Like, from their different organizations.
Okay, like who? Here we go. There we go. Like who?
Well, I just touched on.
You already said one's Freeman.
Yeah.
What other ones?
Well, you got the Collins too. Like they are a big one as far as like religion, and they invest in all these churches and 501c3s and things like that. But see, I ain't really make no notes on that.
Okay.
Right? So that's why I really didn't want to get into it.
So you got the Collins, but what about the Reynolds family? You know anything about them?
Yeah, they are actually the ones that made the plastics and all that. I think that's
Reynolds Wrap?
Yeah, that's it. Reynolds Wrap. But I ain't really touch on them like I did the other ones though.
All right, family. Yeah, damn, they shut that whole thing off.
Oh, really? Oh, my fault.
That's not. Guess you're done anyway. So it's up to you. You're gonna say something else. I'm at loss for words. I'm at a loss for words. Danny left me empty. Okay. So, about a half an hour still go up in here. This is show out. Family. Let me switch gears here. So now we find out that let me switch gears to the Democratic Party. Let me show you what's going on also in Chicago right now. Chicago right now, the individuals seem to be waking up. You have a lady out there with a block of black individuals now saying that they're not going to stand for no more disrespect from the Democratic Party. And I'm see if I can find that video. They're not going to stand for no more disrespect from this ridiculous party that does nothing for black people whatsoever. They're telling you, we don't care if we vote for a Republican. We know Republican Party ain't no damn good either. But like I said, I told you guys long ago, you should work from an independent stand. They come to us. We don't go to them. What are you going to give us as black people? So you see right now, they're funding illegal immigrants, giving them housing when they never gave black people but a spit in our face. Right? Spit in our face. When black people said we need resources, what are you doing for us for our vote? It was always nothing till they came down again during the next election, begging to vote for them again and again, and then gaslighting you and using propaganda saying, you must vote, it's in the world, if you don't vote, they don't vote, trying to scare you into voting, and then what you get from the last vote you had 4 years prior? Absolutely nothing but the same disrespect. Now, supposedly Biden came to office, right? Biden came to office to benefit black people. That's the scam they used again with that nonsense. He was supposed to give you bill after bill, right? Where's the crime bill that he's supposed to give you? Oh, you didn't get that. Where's the college relief that you're supposed to get? Oh, you didn't get that. So the idea, I'm saying, what did you get? So you got some token handkerchief head Negro appointments that they gave you, right? Well, you got some Negro handkerchief head appointments that you received, like the Ketanji Johnson, the Supreme Court broad who didn't know what a man or woman is. That broad. You got all these fake mayors, these fake black mayors that don't do nothing for you. So you've been given a bill of goods again. All these fake appointments. You got a black woman to the UN. So what? What does that benefit black people as a whole? It has not. These are symbolic gestures that they always give you to keep you chasing on the same, running around on the same hamster wheel every 4 years. It took too long for a lot of you old Negroes to finally wake up and realize this party has been disrespecting you. For 60 years, you've been voting for this no good, do nothing party. And you find them lacking And now you feel, oh, well, we can go to the Republic. You should have been had your vote up for grabs. If you can't give us nothing, we can't vote for you, whether you're Republican or Democrat. Because understand, both these parties are anti-black. You know, the idea that you thought that the Democrats wasn't racist is absolutely crazy. That's the original racist party of the Ku Klux Klan. All right? The idea you thought they supposed to clean themselves up, absolutely mind-blowing. Because Martin Luther King told you to go with them, because Lyndon Baines Johnson was another wicked-ass racist. He told you, I'm going to have these Negroes, if I sign these phony bills, the 1964 Civil Rights Bill and the Voting Rights Act, which gave you literally nothing again. But if I sign these into law, I'm going to have these ridiculous Negroes voting Democratic for the next 100 years at least. And he's partially right. Because you've been voting for this wicked-ass party for the last 60 years and have nothing to show for it. They put a few of their bootleg puppets in the power, and you were supposed to be happy with that. You know, the John Lewis's, I got hit in the head with a brick. You know, the Elijah Cummings, all these fake civil rights movement Negroes who never gave a damn about your civil rights while they, grabbed and stole from the government coffers while giving you absolutely nothing but fake hope, fake dreams. I have a dream nonsense. And so now the dream is kind of messed up because you've been seen as one. It's a lie. It's phony. Let me see if I can find that video and play it on here with that lady. Give me a second. I can find it on TikTok, but it's absolutely stunning. You know, it took black people this long to realize that you got no friends in the government and out the government. Listen, so I can find that thing. You know, I see it on TikTok. Let me see something for a second. Just give me a second, come on.
Because I miss you so much. I miss the way we touch. And I need to make it stop. But I still think about it all the time. Don't stop until it's over. But I still think about it all the time.
Let me find it. Yeah, that's it right there. Okay, one second. This is somebody else's video, but I'm gonna use it. Okay, hold on. Let's share this joint. I still got it hooked up there. Okay, family, so I can put this up on the screen real quick. Dang, what happened, man? A second, guys. Uh-oh. Okay, this didn't work. Oh, come on, man. Come to my ears. I can't do this though. Give me a second. There you go. To the bottom. Let me go back.
This morning I heard Mayor Brandon Johnson say that the sentiment in the black community is waning. A lot. The sentiment is not waning.
Not when.
We're not okay with you taking our resources and giving them to people who don't live here. As Mark stated before, you are preparing housing for them. One of the reasons that the city of Chicago was able to close 50 schools was because of the black flight. And the reason we had a black flight was because there is no affordable housing in this city. It is because the city of Chicago shut down the voucher system so that blacks who needed to get affordable housing could not. So they had no choice but to flee to other states. But now you found money for the migrants. We're calling foul. And then another thing you said was that the faith-based leaders were helping to bring around the sentiment.
So she's talking about the bootlicks and handkerchief head preachers, right? She's talking about these fake preachers, again, that were called in to calm down the Negroes. And she's saying that's not going to work. These faith-based organizations, these handkerchief head preachers, are not going to be able to calm them down anymore. That dog don't hunt no more, she's saying.
Haven't paid attention to faith-based leaders since Dr. Martin Luther King. And guess what? We're not listening to them now. We understand that they are wrong paid for. We understand that you control the narrative that they are trying to speak about. So let me just say this to you. We're not listening to them the same way we're not listening to you. What you're doing is not okay. And let me just say this other thing. Opposite Park is still closed. And our mayor has decided that because we didn't support migrants coming to our park, we just ain't gonna have a park. I call foul, Mayor. You love to stand around and talk about how you're a black man. That's all you are, is a black man. And we know that all black folks ain't skin folks. And those of us who didn't know that, you're giving us a great lesson. So we thank you for that. No, the sentiment has not changed. We are still for black people. We are still for this city supporting us. We are still for black people getting the same set aside that these migrants are getting. Oh, excuse me, not migrants, because what they are
Illegal.
is illegal
Alien.
foreign nationals.
Right.
They are not migrants. They are not coming here legally. So just because you put lipstick on a pig, it's still going to be a pig. So we are not backing down. We were quiet for a minute. I know you thought that the sentiment has changed. It has not. And like I'm trying to remind people, not only did I support Brandon Johnson, not only did I campaign for Brandon Johnson, not only did I give him my life, but I want you to know two things. Number one, I'm not a fan. I have bias remorse. Number two, for any independent candidate in the city of Chicago, any Green Party candidate in the city of Chicago, and any Republican candidate in the city of Chicago, now is your time, because we are done with the Democratic Party. Brandon Johnson,
Done with it. Only took 60 years.
let's show them what they think about the black community.
Only took 60 years.
And so we're standing here today to say, okay, if that's what it is, we with it. We don't have to support the Democratic Party.
How about
We don't have to continue to support people who are not going to support us.
they never had.
The Democratic Party
Maybe your grandmothers and grandfathers and telling you, oh, you gotta go for Democrats. You gotta go for Democrats. Who ain't never done shit for nobody black. Ever. Ever. You can't tell me nothing the Democratic Party has done in the benefit of anybody black. Ever.
country is not supporting us. You got Republicans on one side and the Democrats on the other side. Guess what? They're part of the same bird. That's right. So it doesn't matter anymore which party we go with. But I'll tell you this, I'd rather deal with the snake that's outfit himself on the Republican party than the snake that's covered up in the Democratic party. We're not going to continue to stand for this. We're not going to continue to allow.
That's so good. I'm gonna play this one more time. I play this more time, family. It's so good. I go take a piss. Pissed at myself. Yeah.
What you're doing is not okay. And let me just say this other thing. Opposite Park is still closed. And our mayor has decided that because we didn't support migrants coming to our park, we just ain't gonna have a park. I call loud, Mayor. You love to stand around and talk about how you're a black man. That's all you are, is a black man. And we know that all black folks ain't skin folks. And those of us who didn't know that, you're giving us a great lesson. So we thank you for that. No, the sentiment has not changed. We are still for black people. We are still for this city supporting us. We are still for black people getting the same set aside that these migrants are getting. Oh, excuse me, not migrants, because what they are.
This is good to see. It's only taking. It's just too long. Too long. Black people take too long to learn. It's absolutely crazy. It takes 60 years to realize when nobody's done nothing for you. That's 3 generations. Generation is 20 years. That's 3 generations of moronic damn behavior.
It has not. And like I tried to remind people, not only did I support Brandon Johnson, not only did I campaign for Brandon Johnson, not only did I give him my Number 2, for any independent candidate in the city of Chicago, any Green Party candidate in the city of Chicago, and any Republican candidate in the city of Chicago, now is your time, because we are done with the Democratic Party. Brandon Johnson, Governor Freeman, and President Biden have shown us what they think about the black community all over this country. And so we're standing here today to say, okay, if that's what it is, we with it. We don't have to support the Democratic Party. We don't have to continue to support people who are not going to support us. And
They were never going to support you. The immigrants are here now to replace you as a voting bloc. That's why the Democratic Party, ma'am, is trying to get legalized illegal migrant voting or legalize illegal immigrant voting, because that's the new voting bloc, not you. They want to get rid of us. So that's, they haven't done anything for you. Now they just replace you with other people. You get it? That's the scam they're doing.
Republicans on one side and the Democrats on the other side. Guess what? They're part of the same bird. That's right. So it doesn't matter anymore which party we go with. But I'll tell you this, I'd rather deal with the snake that's outfitting himself on the Republican Party than the snake that's coming up in the Democratic Party. We're not going to continue to stand for this. We're not going to continue to allow our state representatives
All right, you hear what she's saying? Tell you to deal with that. She's telling you to deal with that, right? So, I guess, you know, she tell you to deal with that. And it's been, you know, a long time coming. It's been a long time for black people to realize that, you know, we have no friends either in the Democratic or the Republican Party. They both worked against our interests. So, as intelligent black people, we must organize and have each other's back as we represent our own interests. If you're going to come to us, it's going to have to be for something that benefits us, not everyone else. Ain't it funny? They can do shit for LGBTQs. They can do stuff for immigrants. They can do stuff for midgets and fat people, all other demographics, but they never can find the time or the money and funding to do anything concerning black people on any level at all. Isn't that funny? You know, you can do midgets that wear bad hats. They'll find funding for them. But for black people, no, there's never no funding. You always must wait. You must have a commission. Somebody must do something to benefit you. And so sadly enough, for 60 years, the African American community has been chumps. You've been chumps to this deception. Tell you to wait another 4 years. Get this other person in office. Get this other person in office. Every time you do that, they come back and spit in our face and give us absolutely nothing. The time is now to stop doing the same thing, you know, and expecting different results. That's insanity, or the definition of insanity. By doing the same thing and expecting a different result. That's what black people have been doing for 60 years. Doing the same thing and expecting a different result. But they've showed you they're never going to do anything for you. And it took too long for us to realize this. Because they'll put every bootlick, phony, fake in front of us, whether it be a preacher hustle man, some fake politician, carrying the same old water for white supremacy, and have people stand still, sit on their hands. Oh, I guess we got to wait another 4 years. Just ain't our time. We got to keep waiting and praying. You've been waiting and praying for 60 years since you came over in mass from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party. And you got same thing that the Republican Party gave you 100 years that you were in that party. Absolutely nothing. So you've been in this party 60 years. You was in the Republican Party 100 years prior to that. Because from after the Civil War up to 1960, black Americans were what? Republicans. Because of President Lincoln. And so you gave your vote now to the Democrats because of Martin Luther King. But you're getting the same thing. Absolutely nothing. Buddy, 100 years in the Republican Party didn't give a shit about you. 60 years in the Democratic Party ain't gave a shit about you. And now you finally realize both parties are wicked. You know, both wings of the parties up the same damn bird. There's no such thing as right wing and left wing concerning black people. There's only one wing, a wicked bird. Right? Same wicked bird. There's no left wing for black people. We don't, that left wing ideology does not work for us. And the right wing ideology, which is completely racist and ass backwards, does not work for us. Right? So we don't really fit any of these parties. If they want our vote, they need to come to us and give us a sales pitch, family. We're supposed to have did that. Since we have the power, the power to sway any election, they were supposed to come to us and give us a sales pitch. And if we didn't like the sales pitch, no, we're not voting. Sales pitch had to be worth us getting off our butts and going standing in those long ass lines because we were benefiting from the sales pitch. If not, you know, keep it pushing. What do we care? That's what we should have been doing instead of getting all irate and frustrated now after 60 years. Makes no sense. You want to say anything about that?
Nah, I mean, you pretty much said what it is. Like, that's what we discuss all the time.
That's it.
60 years, we did nothing for you.
60 years, what you talking about? Real shit. Let's see how these white people getting mad about it. Hold on. White people don't want the migrants in their neighborhood. White people don't want the migrants in their neighborhood. And you work for us. You gotta hit the button on the side. Top right there. You got them sit. There you got it. Okay. Everybody's discussing about these migrants now coming up in here. Gotta be told they work for you. So get out of that.
Europe is broke, that's the reason. And they're trying to control Africa like they did in the past when they built their wealth of Africa. They took out minerals, they told Africa. Europe is broke.
Not Europe is broke.
Why? It's simple. Europe is broke. Europe is broke, that's the reason. And they're trying to control Africa like they did in the past when they built their wealth of Africa. They took out minerals, they told Africans that they cannot use the minerals. They told Africans that these minerals are worthless, and they took them and they created a wealthy nation out of Africa's minerals. And today, they're doing the same thing with our energy. Europe tells us that they cannot use coal, they cannot use gas. Yet guess who's the biggest exporter of coal and gas? Europe. They tell us not to use it. They tell us to switch off our lights. They tell us to focus on renewable energy, which they themselves are shutting down.
This that scam. This that new work. This that climate scam. Hey, look at all them trucks leaving all that energy. You must lose. It's telling everybody else to use damn windmills and damn solar panels. That does not. That does not feed the economy, right? You can't use windmills and solar power to push an economy, all right? It's not enough energy.
In South Africa, to take coal to Europe, to take gas to Europe. Leaders in South Africa that simply do not kill South African people. They took loans, 8.5 billion in Europe, to build renewable energy. Meanwhile, South is shutting down the renewable energy. What are they thinking? This is money in the hand. I think we take this money and I can run with that money. But for the future of Africa, we are being damaged because of their decisions. How do you take money to build renewables when renewables are failing all over Europe and they continue to take our coal, they continue to take our gas, and you're taking their money? How do you think they make that money? It's the same trick they used back in the day on our people, and today we're seeing it happen again because of the lack of we have the power as Africa. We have the energy. Through energy, you can build anything. Factories, industries, employment. What are you going to do? Are you taking a loan for renewable that's not going to actually give you the right output of power and still have to pay back Europe? Europe is essentially colonizing Africa again.
Truth is, it's a million miles from the reality of EU-Africa trade policy as it exists now. Because our economic relations with Africa are simply a continuation of European colonialism, perpetuating exploitation by other means. Africa trades more with Europe than it does with itself. It's portrayed as a poor continent, but actually it's the richest.
I'm saying hello.
I found this amazing.
Like real win.
Why is China buying so much of the world's gold? Reports are coming out that China is buying vast amounts of gold to reduce reliance on the US dollar for reserve holdings. While officially the United States holds the world's largest gold reserves of 8,100 metric tons, China is in 6th place with a little over 2 trillion. There are reports coming out that China certainly owns more gold than the United States. Some reports say they have 31,000 tons of gold because they want to start taking over the world market. But guess what? Those articles are total BS. People like Glenn Beck are saying the same thing and how the whole U.S. economy is going to collapse, and we need gold. And guess who one of his sponsors is? Goldline, a precious metal sales company. And almost every article like this is funded by gold and precious metal sales. If I want to know whether now is a good time to invest in gold, I will look at the greatest investor of all time, Warren Buffett. And what? Oh, he doesn't invest in gold, but he invests in silver because it's useful. And how much gold did China buy this year that's freaking everyone out? Oh, 800 tons of gold. So that would put them in 4th place in total gold bullion holdings. And that scary 30,000 tons of gold figure is because 23,000 tons of gold are privately held in China. Oh, look at that. Hong Kong, which is a part of China, is one of the cheapest places in the world that you can buy gold. The reason why the Chinese are holding on to so much gold right now and also have such a high savings rate is because they don't trust the economy. So they need some other form of wealth to get stuff that they need in case the entire economy collapses. The private sector of China owning 23,000 tons of gold scares you, which it shouldn't. The United States holds 26,000 tons privately. The United States is one of the largest producers of gold in the world. Right now, we have 15,000 tons of gold that has been discovered but not mined, and about 18,000 tons of gold that has not been discovered, but they know that it's there. And you might be asking, well, why is gold so expensive right now if there's so much of it? Because it's at about $2,070 an ounce. All right, I'll tell you. In the 1980s, the 1990s, even the very early 2000s, the price of gold became very, very, very cheap, and then all of a sudden it took off. And it wasn't because of the Great Recession or terrible economic conditions that transpired, it's something else. China, India, and Russia, 3 countries that are in BRICS, have been buying a lot of gold since the early 2000s. In the past, any time before, let's say, this flat line, most of the gold was held by the West. But as China, India, and Russia began to become wealthier countries, they started stockpiling quite a bit of gold. And guess what happens when 3 of the larger economies of the world start stockpiling a precious resource? Yeah, its value skyrockets. Then there's the fact that the price of gold is always being artificially manipulated. So the short answer is no, China is in no place to overtake the world market or any other control of currency. My name is the Chief.
All right, fam, I just want to show a little bit of that. I'm going to wrap this joint up. Come up to 2-hour period. You know, hopefully you learned a little bit about something. All right. So with that, family, we're going to wrap this thing up. Saying much love. Want to say anything, parting shots to the family, Dan?
Man, just have a good night.
Camera right there, they see.
Oh, just have a good night and
Camera right there.
sorry for being nervous and
It's all right. It's nothing. Get better. We'll come back tomorrow.
I'm camera shy, man. I'm back.
There's nothing wrong with that. So Dan was learning a little camera shot. It's not as easy as people think this is to do. So I know what he's saying. It's all right. But hey, it is what it is. It's not as easy as people think it is to come up here and do shows and talk in front of people, in front of cameras. It's a whole hard process. So, with that, family, we'll go ahead and hit that button. Say much love to the fam. 1, 2, 1, 2. Black, hot, fire. Thanks for everybody showing up. Let me ring this alarm because you know why? School's out, stupid. You guys have a good night. Black, hot, fire. We out. Everybody smash the like button where you're at. Sub to the channel, family. As we say much love, sub to the channel. Sub to the TikTok channels. Sub to the Instagram channel. Sub to the YouTube channel, sub to the Twitter/X channel, to the Rumble channel, to the what else we on Facebook channel, and the Twitch channel. Black, hot, fire. Come on, we out. We out. Woo! Black, hot, bang. Until we meet again, fam. We out of here. Tomorrow, same black time, same black channel. Black, hot, bang. Same black time, same black channel. Woo! We'll come back, we'll have a little squared away tomorrow a little better. Do what we do. Black, hot, fire. What's going on, Hank? How you doing, brother? Good to see you in the building. Smash that like button on your way out, family. Smash that like button. We much appreciate it. Black, hot, bang. We out, we out, we out. See everybody tomorrow, much love, fam. Mind you too, Hank. You too, brother. Woo! We out. We out. Much love, fam. Black, hot, bang. Black, hot, fire. Oh, oh. Much love, family out there. Everybody have a good night. See you by tomorrow. Peace. Much love, family out there. Everybody have a good night. See you by tomorrow. Peace.